Hey, Bill here with Chacote Outdoor Recreation. How you doing? You know, I wanted to stop and talk to you today. You're going to hear a lot of talk about bugging out and inch bags, I'm never coming home bags, things of that nature. And we're not the first people to ever think, you know, what would I do if things got bad and I had to get my family and go to the hinterlands and survive out in the wild? What would I do? There was a time here, if I said the word Apache, you would have been very, very scared, and for very good reason. The Apache were the ultimate bug-out warriors. They had bounties on them. You know, the Mexican government could no longer control them, and they had $100 scalp bounties, $50, $25 scalp bounties based on the sex and age of the Apache scalp that the people would bring in. And there was a lot of fraud, of course, involved in this, and I don't want to get into all that, but they were hunted. They were hunted by the Mexican army and the American army for a long time, and they survived out here in this canyon. Among this, you could see this doesn't give you a lot of room for escape, or it certainly doesn't give you a lot of room for mistakes. So today I want to talk to you about some of the tools you might need. It's great that you're thinking about bugging out. That's wonderful. But you don't just do that in one day. You have things buried. You have things ready along the way to sustain you and your family until you get to your bug out location. And then when you get to your bug out location, there's certain tools and things you're going to need. Today I want to show you some things that I'm bringing up to one of my many bug out locations, just to show you what a well-stocked bug out location looks like and some of the things you may want to have with you. So let me set this down. I'm never far away from it, not out here. Number one thing to have out here, some snake garters, okay? These are leg protectors you wear on the bottom of your legs. They'll keep you from getting struck by rattlesnakes. Invaluable to have for every member of the family. A first aid kit. There's no point in having a bug out location without this. If you get there and you can't treat yourself, you can't give yourself some kind of medical attention, that means you're gonna have to leave your bug out location. Anytime you do that, you run the risk of, well, I don't have to tell you. Now, I always carry a tomahawk with me, and that's my preferred, gathering tool. That's what I love to have. But for breaking away brush, for small items, there's nothing beats a good machete. And it also makes a fine knife for cutting and things like that. Some of you have probably never seen this, but this is a Swiss water bag. I could carry a hell of a lot of water in this. And what I'll do typically is I'll find some water out here and I'll boil it. I'll bring it to a rolling boil and I'll pour it in here all day. And that's how I'll have water for me and my family. Now, water is limited here. Nothing like a good old-fashioned hatchet for processing wood back at camp and building things and constructing things. You just can't beat it. And a shovel. Now, a lot of you grew up with the American E-tool, and if you've ever had to use one in real life, you know what a pain in the ass it is. It's not the best American designed tool ever. Our E-tools are, that's where we lost. This here is an E-tool from overseas. And it gets the job done. Configure this several different ways, but this pick right here, if you've ever had to dig a fighting hole in service or anything, you know that the guy doing this, the guy operating this, digging the hole with this, he's doing the most work, and the guy that's using the spade, shoveling out the dirt, he's having an easy time. So whenever it was time to dig a fighting hole, you always wanted to be this guy, not this guy, because this guy works hard. I always bring up these flashlights that don't require batteries. You just crank them. If it takes batteries, the batteries are going to run out, and eventually that's going to be worthless. This is a file. You say, why would I bring a file? Well, you bring a file so you can sharpen your axes and various other tools. Do not have a file at your bug out location. And of course,